Alright y'all, so we back at it again. Now we're gonna be working on starting to cut the rest of the floor pans. Let you guys take a look at this so you know what I'm doing. So since we already welded that cross member, alright, so we got that out the way. Now it was either pick, you know, the passenger side or the driver's side as far as cutting some more. So I decided, let me just do the driver's side because it's honestly the easiest one to do. And the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this center flooring out. So same thing when I did this part, I'm gonna go ahead and do it for the middle section. Just kind of with a marker, kind of highlight the square, do the pilot holes, and then take the saw and cut it out. And then from there, once I cut that out, I'm gonna do the same thing for the last panel of cutting. I'm taking extra precaution when I cut this one out. I know not to go like into this area where it's kind of like starting to elevate. So I'm gonna just be cutting like along here, right here, this part. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm just gonna start on this one, and then from there go ahead and jump on that. Just wanted to show you guys kind of where I'm at right now and what is the issue that I was running into. So here it is. So pretty much I got these holes here cut out. The one in the front is obviously giving me a little bit more trouble just because of the rail, you know, it's reinforced and stuff, so it's a little bit thicker. Blades that I was using does not want to cut through it. I switch it up and I'm using now this is a 9-inch Diablo, and it literally says it on there, automobile dismantling. Once I cut that up, then I can go back to doing kind of this flooring here and trim up the sides with, you know, what I need to cut out. So that's what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna cut this out and then start working on cleaning it up. This is gonna stay here, the front mounting points to the seat, but eventually I'm gonna have to cut this out. But before I cut this out, I'm gonna go ahead and mark where the location is and where this is welded to, just so I know when I start putting the new reinforcement plates here after I put the rail in, I can kind of stay in the same area of where I made this. But you know, obviously it's gonna have to be leveled with the cross member. So I'm just gonna mark it up, and that, you know, that'll be something for later on. So let's get started. Let me go ahead and see if this cuts off with these, and then I can start working on trimming the rest. Oh, let's see if this bitch cuts off. a mug. I wanted to take a break real quick and just to kind of explain to you guys what I was doing. I obviously started doing the trimming process now after I made all the major cuts. One crucial thing that I ran into that I wanted to explain was removing the rear seat bracket. Those spots, obviously it's like a cross member, so it welds to the trans tunnel as well as the rocker panel. What I did is, since it's welded on there, I've removed the spot welds. Yeah, I made like a little hole on this one trying to take the spot weld, but so that reinforcement welded on obviously to the rocker and the trans tunnel. So what I did is I removed the spot welds, removed the bracket itself. Here's the bracket for where the rear seat mount goes to. What I'm doing is I'm going to keep this piece just in case when I'm ready to do the new reinforcement. If I need to take out this bracket, as you guys can see, there's a little bracket in there. I can remove it with the spot welds there, see if I can reuse it to make a new bracket for that new rail that I'm going to be making. So I kept those. There's two of them, but I just wanted to show you guys that part right here about removing the spot welds for that rear cross member slash rear bracket for the seat. Obviously the main one is going to be this one. This is the one that you're going to want to keep. Obviously it's a structural part of the car, but it also helps as far as the mounting points for the seat. This bracket would be there, but underneath obviously the rail has been removed, and I'm going to cut a little bit more here. So you're just using kind of like the upper piece of this and the welds on each side. I got to trim a little bit more on this side, trim back here, and then I'm going to work on this. Alright guys, made a little pit stop. Let me kind of explain to you where I'm at now. Obviously you saw from the time lapse, you know, I just pretty much, after I took those spot welds off that rear cross member, just continuing to trim until everything is pretty much clean. One issue that I'm running into that I'm trying to make sure I figure out is the once you get closer to that first cross member, the double layer or mind you, I think it's like triple layered metal that meets between like the trans tunnel, kind of close to that where that engine trans mount is, and that cross member for the seat. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So obviously you can see now it's getting a lot better, but what I need to work on now, or what I'm trying to figure out, is this piece. So this cross member, like I said, there's this layer of sheet metal, and then there's this one, and there's also one in the middle, so you can see three. Let me show you from the bottom what I'm talking about. So this piece has to come off, this piece right here, but what needs to be pretty much the new flooring base, you see those holes there? Those are the trans mount holes. That's going to be the new flooring level. So you see this still has to go away along with all of this back here. Still needs to be removed. Alright guys, so I think I got it kind of where I want it for now. Obviously there's going to be a lot more, I would say a little bit more fine-tuned cutting and trimming once like you start laying down the sheet metal like underneath and stuff like that. There's always going to be like excess metal that you want to clean up or something like that. So like I said, all I wanted to do was just trim as much as I can along the edges and everything like that, and then now I'm going to start getting ready to prep the new rail that's going to be installed. So let me just show you how it looks like right now so you guys can see. Everything is clean and ready for the new flooring. And then let me show you guys also the bottom to see where like the new flooring now is gonna be. Like I said, there's gonna probably be more trimming and stuff like that we're gonna be needing to do, just to kind of show you from the underneath standpoint. Look at that in comparison with the original floor. Big difference. Check this out. Finally, I was able to go ahead and cut the rail. I don't know if I explained this before, but I'm just gonna explain it again. When you cut the rail on this side, this is a 3x1 rectangular tubing. At first, what was a little bit confusing is, yes, it is a tight fit to slide inside the old rail. I did have to grind a little bit inside so that it was easier for the rail to slide in there. So when I started sliding the rail, pushing towards me and not making it even on that area, so I made sure to find out what was my middle point on this rail so that I know where to put the actual rail itself and with its middle point, so I know that it had to be in between this area. Once I did that, obviously I cut it, and then I was able to go ahead and place it in here, and I'm using these 90-degree magnets to kind of hold it in place, as well as with jack underneath. So that's kind of helping me with this area right here. And then once I got to this point, I had to make sure that everything was leveled. I did have to knock this slightly down just because it was too high. So what I did is little by little, you know, knocked it down until I got pretty close across the whole way in the bubble to make sure that it's leveled. And then, you know, then I started tapping this down to kind of just close the gaps. Then I cut finally using the angle iron, I cut the brackets that I'm going to be welding to this cross member here. Everything is pretty much cut already and done and leveled to where I need to have it. Now it's a matter of just grinding the areas where I'm going to be welding, prep that, and then I'll be able to go ahead and do some tack welds and weld it up, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so I ended up welding the rail and kind of went a little bit further than that just to kind of show you guys where I'm at now. So like I said, got my welds, got my brackets here welded, got that welded over there. Now I'm working on this cross member. Looks like I'm already mocked them up, and they're in the level that I need them to be. By the way, these magnets here are stupid gangsta. See how it's leveled there, and it's definitely helping me out doing this by myself. So if you guys want to do this, I highly recommend these welding magnets. But yeah, I think I'm ready to go ahead and weld this cross member up. Yeah, I think I would be done with the first structure part of the floor here. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna leave this floor alone, and I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the other one. I'm doing the same thing that I'm doing now. Then once I got that set up, then I'll come back in and I'll start working on the whole sheet metal. Frame is done and the cross member I welded on. So this side is good to go. I'm happy with that. I just got to do that side. But for now, this side is pretty good. So I'm happy with it. All right, now we can end the video.